Good evening. Welcome to an evening edition of Coffee with Tea. I'm your host, the amazing T Street. Tonight's cup, love grows here. And then y'all know I got my little flowers on the other side. Here we go. Y'all, because I love y'all. 2 weeks ago, I brought you the topic of mental wellness. And notice I'm calling it wellness because I don't want us to always talk about sickness, mental illness, mental wellness. So tonight we're going to talk about get your bag right, journey to financial wellness. Because I don't know about y'all, but there's nothing that can take you on the pathway to mental unwellness like bad finances. Because when your
Baby.
money bad, almost everything else is bad. So tonight, y'all know who I am and how I do things. I bring y'all the best. I brought you the best in mental health. So tonight I'm bringing you the best in financial wellness. She's got a long resume. She's been doing this for almost 3 decades. She's a transformational leader in financial services. She is a tireless advocate for economic equity. Y'all, that's what that means. That means so that all of us come and get what we need. Equity is not equality. It's
That's
making
right.
sure that whatever your need is, that need is met. She has championed initiatives that empower minority business owners, building pathways to capital and financial literacy. Her groundbreaking work includes pivotal roles in banking. She's worked for a program at a organization called for a program called the 700 credit score
Uh-huh.
community culture market. Y'all, when I tell you this woman has done some of everything, she's a multipreneur. She got multiple streams of income. Her child has multiple streams of income. Can I tell you, I don't go to get my hair done from people whose hair is a hot mess.
That's
I
right.
don't get my nails done from nail techs who don't do their own nails.
That's right.
And I would never bring you somebody to talk to you about financial wellness who is not financially well. All the big stuff, you'll figure out who she is through all of this because I could go on and read her bio from now until eternity. And then we would spend the time on that and not on the questions that I know you all want me to ask. And by the way, if you're watching, I want to encourage you to put your questions in the chat because if you are on YouTube, you can put it in there and I can see it. And if you're on my Facebook page and you're watching, if you have some questions that you want to ask Chandrita, I want you to be ready. So tonight, y'all, I'm bringing you someone. If kids give you a stamp of approval, you that deal. I brought this woman last year and this year to the P2P program. Every single kid commented about her in what? In their evaluation about what they gained from the class in the summer.
Wow.
Parents were saying to me, my kids came home talking to me about 50, 30, 20. So this is how dope she is. Kids gave her a check. So I want to introduce to some of you and reintroduce to other people my friend, my sister from another Greek organization,
Yes.
the financial diva and guru, the credit connoisseur herself, Chandrita Boykins. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, my mentor. I so appreciate you. I said if she don't stop reading that bio, I'm gonna cringe to death over here.
You know I wasn't gonna read long. My
Thank you.
bio is this big on
Girl,
purpose
don't
because I don't
talk
want people
about
to
it.
read all
Ugh.
that. Now we're gonna have some fun, and I want us to hit the hot stuff. Now, at the end, I want us to talk about because people will ask me this question: how do we get in touch with her? So, if
Sure.
you would, we're on the side where it says post a comment, put your contact information that people can contact you, so that as we go out the show, people will see it over there, and I ain't got to keep saying, hey, you can reach her at blah blah blah. Do you see it
Chat
where
with
it says
everyone in the
post a comment?
studio. Is that
Where
one?
it's at the bottom where it says post a comment. Do you see it?
I'ma find it. Let's roll.
Okay, let's roll. So, for my listeners, I'm going to jump right in who may feel overwhelmed or intimidated by credit or just bad finances in general. Can you explain at a high level? When I say high level, I mean the way that people like me can understand. I don't need
Yes.
a
Yes.
banker's definition. What credit really is and why understanding it is such a powerful life skill.
No, absolutely. So in the simplest form that I can put it in, credit is trust. That's all it is. Credit is trust. It is an individual, entity, or institution saying, I trust another individual, entity, or institution to access my money, my goods, or my services now and pay me later. Right. And as far as it being a critical life skill, that's really all it is at the foundation of it. But as far as critical life skills, it's paramount. Now, this isn't exhaustive, the things that I'm getting ready to tell you, but having it as a life skill is paramount because of home ownership. Purchasing a house is a wealth generating asset if you do it the right way. Purchasing a vehicle, we need to have access to get around. We need to have that resource. Saves you time, saves you money. People don't understand that. The number one way that money is wasted in the US is through interest, is through paying high interest. Mm-hmm. So when your credit is right, you're able to save money. It provides security, flexibility, and leverage. So I don't have $279,000 cash in the bank, but I have $279,000 because I have access to capital. It's not about how much money you have, it's about how much money you have access to. So when you add up all of my lines of credit and my 52 credit cards, you put that together, it's $279,000, and I have zero balances, all except one. It's called AZO, all zeros except one. The card that I use and get all the points for and do all of that. So it's paramount that you have access to capital when you don't have physical capital.
Okay, that's good. So you're going to tell us that little trick of having all those credit cards with zero balances and using one.
Yep.
Okay. Because I remember when you told the kids that piece and they were like,
right.
Well, how many credit cards you got? $279,000 of access to
That's right.
To capital. Okay.
Credit card on purpose. On purpose. Every 3 to 6 months I get a new one. On purpose, by design.
52, y'all, $279,000 in access to capital. All right. The next question I have is, in your experience, what are some of the most common myths people believe about credit that actually keep them stuck financially?
Yeah. Number one is that credit determines your character. Your credit determines your character. A lot of financial institutions judge you based on that, but there's no such thing as your credit equaling your character. Here's the thing. Nobody wakes up and says, man, I'm going to not pay my bills today because I want to. I'm going to not pay my bills today because I want to have fun. Nobody wakes up with that sentiment. People wake up and they face divorce. They face job loss. They face life circumstances that put them in a bind. And so I'm this type of person, T. Here's the real T. If I face my husband losing his job or him walking out on me and my son, and I have to make a decision if I'm going to feed my son or pay Capital One, I'm not paying Capital One and I'm not paying Capital Two. I'm not paying nobody. I'm going to opt to feed my son. That doesn't mean my character is bad. That means that a situation happened and I had to make a choice. So don't let creditors, if you have the ability to fight and advocate for yourself, don't let them look at your credit report and judge you based off of that. Tell them to listen to the story behind the why you missed that bill or the why you fell behind because of divorce, job loss, whatever. And if they are a good lender, then they will listen. I love a good story. I'm a good lender. I love a good story. If I can see some history where you've done some things right, but there was a period of time when some things went wrong, I'm paying attention to that. And I got one more, T, that a lot of people think that having a great score means you can get anything that you want. That's not true. There's a such thing called a debt to income ratio. That says, this is how much money I bring in. This is how much money I owe out. If I take on this new debt, what does that look like for my debt to income ratio? And in the eyes of the lender is saying, if you have a tight DTI, debt to income ratio, I'm not lending you my money, because if the bottom falls out of your finances, then I'm going to be the last man on the totem pole to get paid. So that's EOTL, eye of the lender. That's what they're looking at. So you can't assume because you have excellent credit that you're going to get that, because here's the thing. I have taken people with less than excellent credit who had a great DTI and approved them. And I've had people with excellent credit who had a terrible DTI and declined them.
So don't let people make you believe
That's
that
right.
credit and character are synonymous.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, Chandrita, when someone is just beginning their financial literacy journey,
Mm-hmm.
what are a few and understand that just beginning, it might be you 60 and just now realizing that your life you could have fixed it a long time ago, but now you want to start, or it may be you in your 20s or in your teens and you want to get started. So when I say that, that's what I mean. When you're at the beginning of your financial literacy journey,
Mm-hmm.
what are a few foundational habits you encourage before they ever start disputing or restructuring anything?
You know, my answer is simple. I like to say it's simply profound and profoundly simple. They got to ask themselves, do they want strategy or stress? Strategy is rooted in knowledge. Stress is birthed out of ignorance. So they gotta learn the rules to the game. They gotta know the rules to the game. Credit is a game, baby. I teach you how to play it. I teach you how to play this credit game. I had a bankruptcy on my credit report when I bought my house, and my middle credit score was a 747. So when I went to the lender said, "We see this bankruptcy sitting over here, but we're gonna give you this 3.25% interest rate for this mortgage because of your credit scores and your credit profile." We're going to dig into profile a little bit later. So knowing the rules to the game and understanding the language, finance, business, money, credit, it all has its own language. If you go into a foreign country, you better learn the key words in that language before you get there. You better learn how to say help, bathroom, I'm in danger, I need a ride. You better learn how to say something. So when you jump into this foreign language of finance and credit, if you don't know the language, you got to find an interpreter. And an interpreter is a person like myself or another financial literacy person, credit person who knows the language and can interpret the language for you. And then you need a coach. You need somebody who's going to coach and mentor you through as you get to where you need to be to and where you can stand on your own. And even when you stand on your own, you still need coaches and mentors, but you got to learn the language. You got to speak the language.
So your first step is get yourself a coach.
My first step,
who is your interpreter. I love that concept, the analogy of a translator or an interpreter, someone who can interpret. Because literally, this whole financial world is for people who are not financially savvy. It is
and here's the real T. Here's the real T. Financial services is a white man's game. If you look at financial, I am an anomaly. I'm a unicorn in this universe. There are not many financial experts that have gotten to the level and the degree that I've got to that are Black urban women. It is a white man's game, period. And so when you think about the people who made the game, they didn't make it for us to win it. So if you don't have somebody like a Chandrita sitting at the table getting the game from the creators of the game to come back and interpret that language to you, you are likely to lose every time. Because guess what? When you catch on a little bit, they change the rules again. So you got to have a Chandrita, a change agent, a disruptor, go to those tables and sit there until she can get an understanding of how to come back and interpret that language to you all.
That's good. Because I'll tell you, there are times when I'm reading stuff and I'm like, I know I'm not slow, but this makes me feel like, whoa. And so what do people do when they feel overwhelmed? They cover their heads.
They shut down. Yeah.
They shut down.
Absolutely.
I know for a fact that you work with people at different stages. Mm-hmm. You work with students, you work with professionals, you work with families. Without giving like specific advice, because I want to note here that she's not going to give specific advice as a financial advisor in this space. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Tracy Johnson. Tracy has a question as well.
Okay.
She's not going to give this advice in this space, y'all, that's public, because, you know, she is bound by some rules. I'll let her explain all that to you from around finances to give that kind of public information that is specific to your situation. So I'm going to ask her to keep some of these answers at a high level. So without giving direct specific advice to someone's personal situation, what patterns do you typically see among clients who successfully improve their financial situation versus those who continually struggle?
I think people who are successful understand the difference between cost and value, right? Cost is only an issue in the absence of value. Nobody goes to the BMW or Mercedes Benz and negotiates the price. You don't go in the Louis Vuitton store and negotiate the price of the purse, even though that's made out of canvas and trash. But what I'm saying is, you don't negotiate when you put a high value on an object. So cost is the issue. My thing is, when you pay attention. So people who are willing to invest in themselves are usually the successful ones. Those who are looking for a hand out and not a hand up are usually the ones that struggle. The other ones that struggle are those individuals who look for people who are charismatic, who can talk, who can speak eloquently, who can do all the things. But get you somebody who can show you some receipts. And I meant to post today, but I didn't. My credit scores are over 800. One is 801, one is 813. I think the other one is 796. As of today, for 12 whole months, I posted my credit scores every single month, whether they went up or down, ebbed and flowed. I posted them because how do you gain the trust of an individual if they can't see what you're doing behind bars, or behind closed doors? So there are a lot of professionals, quote unquote, that are a public success and a private mess. So those individuals who will pay attention, and those individuals who want it quick and fast. It took you 30 years to break your credit. It's not going to take me 30 days to fix it, because I'm going to do it the legal way.
Okay. I hear you on that one. You said it took you 30 years to destroy it. I can't fix it in 30 days.
Girl,
I love the fact that you said you post your credit scores.
Oh, all the time.
Because one of my favorite quotes that I always tell kids is, this is what I'm always challenging adults to be better. Mm-hmm. I always say to them, because we are here telling kids what to do, but we can't teach what we don't know, and we can't lead where we won't go.
That's right. That's
so
right.
How you going? I told you earlier, I don't go to hairdressers whose hair is a mess.
Listen.
So I appreciate the fact that you post your credit scores, because let me share with people pretty candidly, and I won't reveal. Someone that is very close to me used Chandrita. That's how I first heard about her. And she got them right. And then they invited her into a school environment, and the kids couldn't stop talking. I'm like, you got kids. This person called me and was like, girl, Chandrita is a trip. She said, but my kids loved her. They don't love nobody. They hate speakers. They hate presenters. But they're like, when's she coming back? And so she brought her back for a series. And so 2 summers ago, my girl Charity, y'all know my girl Charity Martin King, Charity brought her to her program. But it wasn't Charity who convinced me. Chandrita had the kids Monday through Thursday in the morning. And this other presenter was there too. He did a session, she did a session. And then I had them all afternoon that same Monday through Thursday. So every day when I would get there in the afternoon, because I was running my program in the morning, y'all know I'm a hustler. I'm going to make that money. I would run over to this other program. And when I would get there, I said, so how was the morning? Every single day, different group of kids every day. Every day the kids had the same comment. Man, that dude from Columbus State, he was whack. He was nice, but man, he was whack. But man, that one lady, I mean, like, she got the shaved head on the side and the long eyelashes. I don't know her name. But man, I'm about to get my money right. These are high school kids talking about I'm about to get my money right. I said, well, tell me something she taught you this morning. 50, 30, 20. 50, 30, 20. So I asked the kids.
Hey.
Because I trust kids. I don't trust y'all adults. Right. I asked the kids. I said, y'all, is it worth me bringing her to my program? They were like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Y'all brought her to my program. My kids didn't want to break. They stood online all through their break waiting to talk to her for us to come back to the second hour. Then when it was time to go, they didn't even want to let her go. Can I ask you one more question? Ms. Watkins, can I ask you one more question? So, y'all, when I tell you she is tested, I want to ask you a question that Tracy Johnson posed online. Yes. She said, I hear paying all your debt down to zero hurts your credit score. Is that true? And if so, why?
It depends on which debt, Tracy. So there's a method, and it depends on what stage you're in with your credit, right? And how many lines of credit you have and all of these things. So there's not the unique thing about credit is that more times than not, there's no one blanket answer. There are some things where you say, hey, do this in general. But there again is an all zero except one, AZEO method when we're talking about our credit cards and lines of credit. So there is, it's so detailed. So if you pay everything to zero, that is revolving, yes, because 30% of your score, which is the second heaviest weighted part of your credit score, is based on your utilization. So you have to utilize those cards in order to get those points. Okay. But if you have all zeros except one and you're still using that revolving line and you're using it a certain way, right? You want to use it a certain way because you still don't want to get over that 9%. If you Google it, Google's going to tell you never owe more than 30% on a credit card or line of credit. If you owe 30% on a credit card or line of credit, it's killing you in that category. 9%, between 1% and 9%. Notice I did not say 0%. So if you pay everything down to zero, that's revolving, it will hurt you. That is very true because it's utilization. You got to use that card in order to get those points.
Tracy, put it in the chat if it answered your question. If you have a more specific question you want to ask, just put that in there. Hey, Brandon.
Please.
All right. A lot of people focus only on credit scores. Mm-hmm. You teach something deeper. Can you talk about the difference between credit repair and credit education and why education matters long-term?
Yep, I'm going to answer those questions separately because I do talk about a lot of things that are deeper than that. Thank you, Tracy. A lot of things that are deeper than that. So credit score is cool. Credit profile is better. So earlier I told you all that I have approved people with lower credit scores but better debt to income ratios than people with higher scores and debt to income ratios that are suffering. Likewise, when it comes to your credit score and your credit profile. So if you got a 1997 Honda Civic, a Lowe's card, a Victoria's Secret card, and some other junk credit profile lines on your credit report, and your score is 800, and your debt to income is good, and I have you here, and I have somebody that comes to me with the 680, but they have the Power 8 banks, they got PNC, they have Truist, they have Wells Fargo, they have Bank of America, they have Chase on their profile, I'm likely to approve the person with the 680 than I am the person with the 800 with a bad profile. Because big boys like to play with big boys. If I'm a big girl, I don't want to get in the minutia with Lowe's and Victoria's Secret and all of them. I don't even want to show up on your profile in that way. And so what I want is to have my name with the rest of the big boys that are on your profile. So credit profiles matter more. Hear me clear, lean in. Credit profiles matter more to the lender than your credit score does. Debt to income and your profile matter more. So yes, focus on raising that score, but also focus on what trade lines are showing up on your credit report because your profile is as important, if not more, than your score. As far as the difference between credit repair and credit education, here's the thing. Credit repair is going to consider your past behaviors, right? It's going to consider your past behaviors and what you did wrong. Credit education focuses on the present and establishes a plan for moving forward. That's the fundamental difference between the two. Credit repair is looking at, okay, 2 years ago till now, this is what happened. Credit repair is saying, okay, I acknowledge what that was. I acknowledge what happened, and I'm going to deal with that. But how are we going to move forward from this point to make sure that we are established and maintaining positive trade lines and getting your score on an upward trajectory?
That makes sense to me. Okay, yeah. So y'all hear that? We're all going for a good credit profile, not just a good credit score.
Period.
Because the profile, the period matters more. Good evening, Dr. Shani. Good evening, Kelly. I see you all on. Kelly said, "Good stuff, Shani."
Hey, Kelly. That's my boo. She watching out of Dayton, T.
Hey, Dayton. Hey, Dayton. Well, Dr. Chandra is watching out of Detroit.
Oh, come on, D.
See,
come on, D. That's my old stomping grounds, honey.
Let me tell y'all, when I tell you, I love the way that you break this down in a way that we get information that isn't typically available to the common people, Black, white, or otherwise, because my audience is diverse. Common people don't get this information, which is why they make what I think are common mistakes around credit and around finances. So I'm really excited. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this topic to our people. Definitely. What are some signs that someone has reached the point where do it yourself Googling isn't enough. And it's time to bring a professional in. Okay, let me give you an example. At one time, I fancied myself a pseudo plumber.
Oh, good God.
Until I jacked something up in my house and I had to call in the real plumbers because YouTube led me astray.
Yeah.
When do I know when it's time to stop Googling and start hiring, as you put it earlier, when you were talking about making sure that you got the right coach or the right person who's going to coach you through this? When do I know when it's time?
So here's my fundamental belief. If people could prevent themselves or unstick themselves, they would, right? If they could do it, they would do it because nobody wants to be in that position. So the reality is, my advice is, as soon as you realize you stuck, you need to call a professional. Now, T, you thought you could do it, right? But when you realize I done messed this up, I'm stuck, you turned and you called a professional. When people come to that realization, because here's the thing, here's the reality. There's no law that says you can't fix your own credit. But there's also no law that says you can't operate on yourself. There's no law that says you can't change your engine, right? So there's no law against those things. But because of the risk of you operating on yourself is what? You're going to die. The risk of you trying to put your own engine in your own car is slim to none unless you are disciplined as a mechanic. So those things are very important and very critical, but so is your finances. I don't understand how the thing that impacts every area of your life we take so casually, and we will not hire a professional to coach us, guide us, and help us through that. To help me understand that. Like, I don't get how we feel like we can go it alone, we can do it on our own, because if we could, we would. If we could, we would. The issue is you can't, because you haven't. So that's the point where you need to say, let me call in the big guns. Let me pay somebody who can do this like I would a mechanic or I would a doctor to get me right, because there's no law against it. But the Bible says, T, all things are lawful, but not expedient. Meaning all things are lawful. You can do it. It's not illegal, but expedient means smart. It's not smart to do. So yeah, it's lawful for you to fix your credit, but it's not smart for you to do it if you don't know exactly what you're doing.
And just in case y'all don't know, they call her the financial evangelist as well, because on Sunday she will be ordained as the minister of the gospel. Just so you know, because having good finances, y'all, whether you realize it or not, is biblical.
That's right. Oh, baby.
Because the word of God says that we are supposed to be lenders and not borrowers.
You should listen. I know. Listen, don't take me right there.
I'm not gonna take you there because we're gonna try to keep this moving. But if you have a question, please drop it. Thank you, Tracy, for your question earlier. If you have a question, there is no stupid question. The stupid question is the one you don't answer while you got a professional here. So please drop it in the chat. The next question I'm gonna ask you. You told me what my signs are that I needed some help. You've built the Credit Connoisseur, your business, one of your businesses, to be more than just a service. Everybody I know is like, girl, it's a whole experience. I heard Mark Thomas on today. He posted about how you helped him with all of his businesses, get them going, and what an investment having you, the difference that it made in him building his business.
Yeah.
Can you share what working with you looks like and how you approach your helping clients to feel empowered instead of judged?
Absolutely. So listen, working with me is working with someone who, one, is an expert by discipline and by experience. So again, I've been doing this for almost 3 decades, 28 years. T, you believe that? 28. Baby, when I counted them up, I was surprised myself. I said, man, I've been in this thing for a long time. That's my discipline. That's my occupation. That's my training. That's all of that. But I'm also a 2-time bankruptcy offender. So when I tell you I faced every financial situation one could, I was close to a repo. I've never had that. And at the point where I was filing bankruptcies, I was not a homeowner. So I'd never faced a mortgage foreclosure. So I was close to repossession, never owned a house when I was going through the bankruptcy thing. So I did not face a foreclosure. However, anything else, I'm talking about from caught up in payday loan cycles. And this is all why I'm the face of finance for this city. I was doing that My downfall was I was not a faithful tither, but we're not going to church. So I'm going to get on over here. However, again, both by discipline, my occupation, and by experience, right? So most people, there are a lot, and I've researched these people. They've had it. They've never had bad credit. So they coming on trying to tell you how to get good credit when they've never had to pull themselves up by them bootstraps out of that. When I started this business in 2011, the Credit Connoisseur, my credit score was 517. The highest my score has been is 849. They did not give me that 1 point because my name is Chandrita Monique. You don't have to tell me. I know they said that's a Black girl. We're not giving her perfect credit. However, I'm still in the top 1.5% of Black patients, and my vocation mirror one another. My occupation is what I get paid to do. My vocation is what I was made to do. So the difference between me and a lot of other people is that this is a paycheck to them. This is purpose for me.
Did y'all hear that? Your occupation is your what?
The occupation is what I get paid to do. My vocation is what I was made to do, what I was called to do by God.
Bars.
It just so happens.
As young people would say, bars.
It just so happens that they mirror one another. Just so happens God fixed it so that this is not just, because here's the thing. Here's what y'all got to understand. In your life, where you're anointed is where you're attacked. I kept being attacked in my finances. I kept doing it until I opened my mouth and said, this curse is broken over my life. Not another payday loan, not another broke day in my life, because the Bible says you shall decree a thing and it shall be established. So I opened my big mouth. I decreed it. God established it. And not only will I never be broke, it's impossible for me to be broke because I said what I said, and the Lord honors this royal priesthood who made a royal decree that I will never suffer financial ruin again. And not only did I say it, and I'm going to see it, my faith is attached to it, because faith without works is dead. So I put my money where my mouth is, and I put all of that into motion to make sure that I don't experience no lack. And not only me, but my generations to come. My son is rich and he's 4. He got more money in the bank than I do.
Y'all sorry, seeing these comments? That's all right. No, you see people. Can you see the comments? Are you watching the screen?
Yes. I see them.
People are commenting. I'm putting their comments on the screen because I want you to see them, that people are responding to what you say. It's so important that when we're out here having these conversations, y'all, that we just are honest. Because if all of us are honest, I don't know about y'all, but I've been there, done that. Girl, I remember when, oh my God, I was like when I say the cycle of payday loans, I could not get off. It felt like a bicycle going down a hill. I'm like, if I jump ship, I'm gonna break my neck. And if I don't jump ship, I ain't gonna never get off this bike. And y'all know
years,
I want to ride this bike.
12 years I was caught in that cycle. 12 of them.
That piece. People won't tell the truth. And it's so funny because there's a good book that reads that the truth will what?
Set you free, baby.
It'll make you free, and we won't get free because most of us, you talked earlier about never let people equate your character with your credit.
That's right.
Your credit and your character are not synonymous. And so oftentimes we see it, we wear the damage that we've done to ourselves financially like it's a cloak of shame. And just like any other thing, the thing that you hide, you can't get healed from.
Listen, I'm so free, y'all. That's why I don't care about telling y'all about bankruptcy. These other people that's trying to impress y'all won't tell y'all the ugly truth. Listen, I'm going to tell you the ugly truth before I tell you a pretty lie any day. So I don't care, because check my bank account, check my credit right now. And I don't say it because I'm bragging. I'm saying it because my boast is made in the Lord. That's my past. That's not who I am. And guess what? When I was walking through it, it still did not identify who I was. It did not identify who I was. There's a scripture verse in the Bible that says that had to happen. I had to go through that because, again, where I'm anointed is where I'm attacked. And when I was taught that, see, the devil, my husband's a boxer, and he used to always tell me, babe, when you're in a fight, when you notice somebody's weak side, don't go for the weak side. He said, what side you going to go? I said, the weak. He said, why would you go for the weak when it's weak? Go for the strong. Make the strong side weak. So now you got 2 weak sides. So the devil always tries to come for your strong side. Your strong side is where your anointing is. My anointing is in finances. I don't just help people. I pray for people. I labor in prayer for my clients. because their success is my success and my success is his success, because I always point them back to the cross in heaven. I don't take no credit for myself. All this bio stuff is great, and I understand it's done in season and it's done like it should be. I couldn't care less about none of that. What's the end game? What's the results? What's the outcome? That's my focus. Not on nobody saying how great I am, because it's not. God don't bless me because I'm good. He blesses because he is.
You better give that to him. We said we wasn't going to church, but it's hard.
I ain't going to church.
It's too hard for two church girls not to go to church. I'm just saying, you won't hear somebody said, "Come on, sissy." Somebody said, "Come on now." That's good. Kelly, put your occupation is what I get paid to do, but vocation is what I was made to do. Come on, y'all better come on and tell it. Let me just say to you, Shandrita, I love the transparency. And Takia is like, yes. Somebody was like, "You preaching though." Tracy said, "Praise him though." Let me tell you, I love your transparency. And can I just tell you, that's what my kids loved about you. When I asked them, why did y'all like her? They're like, because she like us. Can I tell you, one of the things that's going to get us in trouble is that we are all concerned with exteriors.
Oh, baby.
Kids make me laugh all the time because, like, when they come in, they're always feeling ashamed of like their little looks and their little locks and their little tattoos all over the place. And I'm like, girl, I could care less. I don't care about your little ankle monitor. What I love and what they respond to you in is the authenticity with which you approach it. Your transparency and your authenticity will kill the game when the kids kept telling me, because she like us, and I was like, tell me more. They were trying to explain it. They were like, well, like she got lashes like us. I mean, like her hairstyle. Like, and one boy was like, I saw her when I was coming out yesterday, and she had long hair, and then the next day she had no hair at all. And I was so weak. That's what one of the kids over at the league told me. I was weak, like sickly weak. But if we use that exterior all the time, one of my parents said her daughter Jazz absolutely loved you.
You tell Jazz I said I love her more.
Yeah, Jazz. And I remember Jazz was like, Miss T, I said, should I bring her back next year? You got to bring her back. It's that transparency piece for me, Shandrita. Like, to look at you, people would know like the depth that's all there. And that's the lesson that I have learned over and over and over again is don't let the looks fool you.
That's right.
I tell kids all the time, kids are like, Miss T, but such and such. I'm like, they're like, Miss T, you don't never say that about our tats. I'm like, that's because y'all can't see mine.
Right.
You have ink. I'm like, y'all, I got ink galore. Y'all just can't see it because I cover it up for y'all. But what you don't do is cover it up. You tell the kids that you had been bankrupt. And our kids were like, but then how did you recover from that? I think that that's the story of our lives. When we are willing to tell our story, what we prove to people is if God can do it for you, he can do it for them. If you have a question, drop it in the chat, y'all. For listeners who are ready to take ownership of their financial future, what's the first step they can take today? And how can they connect with you to continue their learning journey?
I would say be honest with where you are, right? Take financial inventory. Understand, just understand where you are. Know your real numbers. I've said this in classes and people look at me like I got 6 heads, but I'm like, listen, if you have an STD and you ignore it, it's not going to get better. It's going to fester, and it likely is going to get worse. Ignoring it won't fix it. Neither will your finances. Ignoring where you are financially won't fix it. And I tell people, when we talk about your money, it is an intimate relationship. When I make love to my husband, I don't leave my socks on. I am totally naked. I take everything off. And I'm sorry, T, I know this, we love Jesus, but I'm trying to make a point here.
You got a husband.
A good one.
That would be problematic if I was making that statement, but it's not problematic.
A good one. So I am completely bare with my husband. When we are talking about your financial situation, complete transparency, butt nakedness is what the expert needs in order to truly to be able to help you. That's why you got to stand in the face of somebody or work with somebody who's not judging you. And I think that, and I'm not promoting myself, but I'm saying to your point, T, about authenticity, I think transparency is also, which is the same thing, is very important because people need to know I don't have a right to judge you because I was just there not too long ago. And if the truth be told, The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. I could be there again. Now I can't because I decreed that I never would. But that's the situation that could happen. And so I think taking inventory, knowing what you owe, what you earn, what you spend, what you own, and what you owe. Those are different, right? What you spend, what you earn, what you save. Because without this clarity, the other steps don't matter. We would be hustling backwards if we didn't understand where we are right now in honesty. That's the key, because some of us have delusions of grandeur. Some of us have Louis Vuitton taste, and we have Kroger bag budgets.
Read what's on the screen. Read what Tracy just put on the screen.
We will pay for $1,000 bag. Yes, ma'am. Of education, invest in ourselves so we can do 100%. 100%. Listen, Miss Johnson, you sound like you've been in one of my classes, baby. I will carry. Let me tell you about Miss Sheila real quick. Miss Sheila came in my bank one day when I was managing the bank, and she had a Kroger bag, honestly, with all these papers in it. And I greeted her at the door, and I said, "What's up, Miss Sheila?" Shirley is her name. I'm sorry. And she said, "Hey, I think I got some money over here." She started pulling out these statements. There was no statements from the bank that I was employed from. And I said, "Well, none of these statements are your statements from here. These are from other banks." When I sat down and added it up, it was $250,000 in statements that Miss Sheila had. Now, this was a long time ago. She said, "I think I got some money over here." I said, "You got your driver's license? Let me pull you up." I pulled it up. She had $60,000 in the savings account and $40,000 in the checking account. Miss Sheila forgot she had $100,000 sitting at this bank. I said, "Miss Sheila, hold on. I need to be somewhere forgetting I got $100,000 somewhere, because I know where all my pennies at." And I talked with her and I asked her how she amassed this wealth. And so when I bought my house and my husband said, "Why are we looking for a 5-bedroom house and it's just us?" I said, "Because Miss Sheila, who forgot she had $100,000 sitting over here, said you don't buy no house less than 4 to 5 bedrooms." So again, blessed to be in a position where I get a chance to interview these individuals, and I get a chance to listen to them. A lady told me, Miss Johnson, that she put all her boys, 3 of her boys, through college, no debt, retired early. I said, "How did you do that?" She said, "I bought 4 pair of pants, navy, black, gray, and brown. I brought several shirts from the thrift store. I rotated those clothes and I paid myself first." So guess what I did? I went and got me some navy pants, some brown pants, some gray. Ain't no reason to recreate the wheel when the examples are there for us. You cannot listen. What are we doing? Who are we trying to impress? I want to be Miss Sheila too, G.
Me too, Janae.
Janae, listen. Who are we trying to impress? Like, who are we doing this thing for? And here, let me just put this here, T. Don't kill me, but let me just put this here. Check your self-esteem. Because that's really what keep you broke. When you know who you are and you ain't trying to put no clothes on for nobody else, your self-esteem, depending on the status of it, will wear your wallet out, honey. Check your self-esteem, evaluate your self-worth. Then you can focus on what's on the inside and building legacy instead of being so concerned about what's on the outside. And baby, listen, I like to dress down. You hear me? But guess what my favorite story is? Rainbow. I'm not going over and can. I got access to almost $300,000. That's cash. I'm going to Rainbow every time. Because what am I doing here? I'm trying to make sure that this little baby don't have to worry. He already gonna have to worry because he's a black boy. But I'm trying to make sure money ain't his issue. Because let me tell you something about life, parents. The demons you don't conquer, you leave these little babies to fight. Ooh. So if I don't kill this poverty demon, if I don't break his neck, if I don't decapitate it and castrate it, I got to leave that for my 4-year-old black boy to fight. I'm not doing that. Everything that comes at him, me and his daddy are his armor bearers. We incubate him. We encompass him. So we are literally out here slaying demons that we know are going to come after him so that we don't leave them there for him to fight. Praise God, Janae. I'm glad, baby.
Let me say to you, I love that you're talking about. Oh, Erica said, ouch. Can I just tell you, I used to have a pastor way back in the day when I was a kid. He said, if you can't say amen, say ouch.
Say ouch.
Say ouch. If you can't say amen, say ouch.
Say ouch.
It was funny that you talk about this. when I was at a school in California, and this is what white boy gonna challenge me. He said, because they think that they understand culture, our culture especially, so they always want to challenge me with Black culture. And so the little boy asked me the question. He said, Miss D, you got red bottoms?
Oh Lord.
I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, Mister, you can't afford red bottoms? I said, sweetie,
Yes, sir,
for what I just hit your school in the mouth for, I could buy 3 pairs of red bottoms.
Yeah.
I said, but let me tell you why I don't buy red bottoms. I said, I
Yes.
will never buy, and this is not a judgment to any of y'all who own them or anybody who owns Louis or any of those designers. It's not who I am. It's just not my value system. There's nothing wrong with that unless you're cash poor and you are asset poor. But what I said to him was, I invest my money in young people so I can close the gap for kids in my community to go to college. And so then I hit him with a bar and I held my shoe up. I said, these ain't red bottoms. These is black bottoms. I make money moves. Sending kids to college, I make money moves.
I love it.
Moves. Because at the end of the day, for me, I grew up in a family. My mom, I have purses that cost a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what they are.
Right.
Because I'm not wearing Louis on the outside of mine. I like real soft, buttery Italian leather that you ain't never gonna see the label, but on the inside it says original. But guess what? I'm not buying the bag, and then what? Can't pay for my car.
Feel it. That's right.
Can't do that. So tonight, y'all, I just hope that y'all are getting some nuggets that will begin you on the journey. Can I just tell you, one of my I call him Bonus. You know what I'm giving him? What I gave him for Christmas, I just ain't purchased it yet because I ain't talked to Chandrita to get it set up. In December, I called him and I said, hey, I want you to know what I'm giving you for Christmas. He said, what? I said, I'm going to give you a session with a financial advisor to help you get your life. He was like, he was like, oh my God, that's what you giving me? I was like, he was like, why do I love you, Bonus? We call each other Bonus. Why do I love you, Bonus? I said, my grandsons, yeah, I get them toys, but can I tell you, for their birthdays, I buy them stocks.
I love it. Let's go.
I started that with my nephews when they were little. I'm like, no, that stuff depreciates. And by the time you done broke it, it ain't even got it out the box good. It's broken and it has no value. So y'all, we've got to change as a community our mindset around money. And when we talk about generational wealth, and I remember when Otto Beatty made me set up a different life insurance structure.
That's right. That's right.
He made me set up. I remember I came into him because I'd had a really bad car accident in 2004. It almost took my life. And when I got in there, this man, y'all, my little life insurance, my little car insurance policy was so whack that he didn't charge me his fee.
Wow.
He said, I'm going to give you all this money, but I'm going to make you go over to the person who does my car insurance and my life insurance, and you're going to be better. You will never carry less than this.
That's right.
I was like, no one ever told me those things. My mom was great with money, but she never passed it on.
That's right. That's right.
She never told us how she did what she did, but she did it well.
That's right.
I had me and my siblings, we had to learn on our own and make all the mistakes that you talked about making.
But T, stay right there, because that's the power in this, and just talking, right? Is you said something there. Now, parents, grandparents, we're going to leave a legacy regardless. It's either going to be one of education or one of ignorance, but it's going to be left. My grandparents, serial entrepreneurs, never had no debt, paid the house off in 15 years instead of 30, all the things. Never taught those principles to my mother. She therefore never taught those principles to me. So that's how I became an expert by experience. But again, what does it do? The curse stops with me. I'm breaking the curse. I'm not passing down a legacy of ignorance to my son. That's why when he turned 4, he launched 2 businesses, got 2 trademarks. That's why he learns ownership, because what I learned late in life, I'm teaching him early. So because you can't control what you don't own. So you got to own something. I own it because I pay it. However, when my son turns 40, I pay $77 a month for his life insurance policy, whole life. When he turns 40, it will be worth $600,000. When he turns 65, it will pay him $60,000 a year until he turns 95. I'm not playing. Chosen has crypto. Chosen has investments. Chosen has stock. Chosen has everything I have. And guess what? Chosen has, I have the Power 8 banks. There's 8 banks that are Power 8. If they're on your profile, you probably won't get turned down for anything as long as that DTI is right. Chosen is on 6 of those and has been since birth. So just like our Caucasian friends who put their children on their credit cards and their kids graduate from high school with 700 and 800 credit scores, mine will too. Because I'm not doing nothing less for mine than I watch them do for theirs. They create their own banks through life insurance policies. Whatever they do, I'm doing because they're doing it and winning. I'm not trying to recreate the wheel, and I ain't trying to build no new one. I'm doing what is working for my baby. I'm doing what is working for my family. I'm paying attention. The streets ain't gonna raise Cho. And let me tell you what a testimony he will never have. I got it out the mud. Baby, when I hear that, I want to choke everybody's neck. Chosen will never, his name is Chosen. He will never utter the words, my testimony is I got it out the mud. Nope, not me, not here, not ever. Because, baby, listen, you talk about get rich or die trying. I'm going to make sure this baby is set up for success or I'm going to die trying. And if he's not, it won't be because I didn't do my part and his daddy didn't do his part. We are teaching early what we learn late in life. Period.
Come on now. You see the question on the screen?
I do not. What's the life insurance secret? Takia, inbox me. I got a person you can talk to, baby. It's what I have for my son. Everybody's solution is different. So I don't want to give you anything here. We got to look at what your goals are and where you're trying to be or where you're trying to go. And then we'll put something together for you comprehensively and tailor-made for your situation. And it ain't no secret. There's no secret to success, just formulas. There's no secret to success, just formulas, period. So we're going to get you the formula. You can inbox me. We'll get that taken care of quick. But be ready, because listen, I say this all the time. I don't play about y'all, but I don't play with y'all either. So when you say, what is this? When you inbox me, be ready to pull the trigger or don't until you are, because I don't play. I don't play with you and I don't play about you.
Y'all hear that? So in other words, don't be wasting time and get your coins right. Hey, Joy Bivens.
Joy Bivens.
Yep, Joy is on. She said 100%. Somebody, Erica said breaking generational curses. Let me say to you, as we start to wrap this up, first of all, how can the people reach you? Don't just do inbox. What is your professional way to reach you?
Listen, y'all, I'm so reachable. And T probably gonna be mad, and some of my friends that are logged in, but this thing is personal for me. Like I said, it's my vocation and my occupation. I ain't gonna give y'all one phone number. I'm gonna give you 2.
Can I give them your email as well?
You can.
Okay, I'm gonna put her email on there, y'all. In the comments is Mrs. Boykins@gmail.com. Give me a phone number. I'm gonna put it in
614-843-3577 and 614-440-0844. I don't run from bill collectors. So if you call me and I don't answer, it's because I'm with someone and I can't. But if you text me or email me, I will respond. I don't play those games. But I'm going to say it again in tongues, in Spanish, Hebrew, Greek, is that if you're not ready, don't talk to me.
Erica says don't even be wasting your time.
Thank you, Erica.
Hey, Christina. Good to see you on. Let me just say to y'all, I think that it's time for everybody. If we can invest in fun, y'all, we buy $200 and $300 tickets to go to all these events. Y'all all know we drop coins for concerts. I got my sister a concert ticket for Bruno Mars, because that's what she getting for her birthday was Bruno Mars ticket. If we can pay for that, we can pay to get our finances straight, y'all. And as much as I love y'all, can y'all not start out with, can I get the hookup? Because I tell them no, because AEP hasn't given me one. Verizon hasn't given me one. Thank God my car is paid for. But somebody asked me the other day, T, are you going to get a new car? And my brother asked me, he said, you get a new car? I said, boy, this car paid for. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off.
That's right. That's right.
I'm going to ride this car till the wheels fall off because I have no car payment. But I just wanted to bring Chandrita on tonight. Chandrita, what's one question? I put her hopefully you all can see. I put the email in there and I put both the phone numbers that she gave us in there. What's one question that I did not ask you that you wish that I had as we start to close this out?
You know, there's a song that came out says cream cash rules everything around me. And back then when the song came out, it was the truth. Today is credit, right? Credit rules everything around us. There is not a what am I trying to say? A blanket answer, for everybody. But I want you to understand this, that there are other things versus that are not loan related, that your credit affects. Your credit affects the rate of your insurance. Your insurance policy, it has little to do with the number of accidents you've been in. It has more to do with what your credit scores are. When they say we're going to send this policy to underwriting, that's a long term. They are actually checking your credit reports. They are. When you are, before they came out with all this PIP and all of this other gas thing you can get where you pay a certain amount every month, and it's fixed payments, the kilowattage that you pay for your electricity and your gas was based on your credit. When you're establishing that at your new place, or when you're moving and you're establishing these utility bills, they're not seeing if you need to put down a deposit. They're not seeing if you owe them money. They're seeing what your credit score is, so they can base how much you get charged per kilowattage for that utilization. When I started working in financial services and the government, there were two forms I had to sign. One form saying that you could check my credit. Another form saying that if they randomly check my credit, that they could randomly check my credit. And if it's called the truth in not truth in lending. Oh, I can't think of the name, but you'll know it when you see it. It's a big form. If they are looking to give you a promotion on that job, they will go back and check your credit before they make an offer to you. So when I tell you that credit affects more than just your ability to lend, it affects your ability to move up on your job. It affects your ability to get a job. It affects how much you're paying kilowattage for your lights, utilities, and it is affecting your insurance. And as we get into 2026, because it's a new era of credit, everything before 2025 is the old way of doing things. Y'all know FICO 8, there's FICO 10T. There's a way you have to conduct yourself in this new credit era that has nothing to do with the old. When I checked my FICO 10T score based on how I am currently doing my credit, all three of my scores were lower, not significantly because I'm in the 800s, but they were very high 700s versus the FICO 8 that has me in the 800. Listen, they skipped over FICO 9 because it was consumer friendly. They're jumping to FICO 10 because it's not as consumer friendly. So when I tell you this is a game, and let me just say this, T, because I need people to know this. Keep your bank accounts at credit unions, but get you a major bank.
Yep.
Get you a major bank. Get you a national bank and bank there. Keep the credit unions. I have them. I have Navy Federal. I have Kimba. I have somebody else. Keep your credit unions, but get you a national bank. Not only, T, is your credit report and profile weighing in on decision making in 2026 and beyond, but your banking relationship is. Because here's what banks are saying. If you can't manage your own money, I can't lend you mine. For nothing. For cars, for houses, for personal loans, for debt restructuring, for debt consolidation. If you can't manage your own money, I can't lend you mine. So the bank is saying, let me get in that bank account and look at these transactions. Let me see where you are. Let me see if you stretched thin. Let me see if you got more month than money. Let me see if you're overdrawing your account. Let me see if you're having regular deposits. Let me see what the average daily deposit is. They're in your business. And when I worked in the bank, and I did so for 20 years, there's a thing called ACAPS. That's the back end of your credit. And it also gives you a bank score. So if your credit score is low and you're going for a bank product, based on the relationship that you have with that bank and how you've handled your accounts, they may still approve you based on your bank score. But if your bank score is poor and your credit score is poor, My grandma would say USOL. Because I'm saved, I won't tell you what it means.
We're going to say POL, you poop out of luck.
Thank you. That's a good one. You poop out of luck. So get those bank accounts right. Unsubscribe from all of those Klarnas and all of that, from Plaid. Unsubscribe from that. And if you still say, hey, I do need to pay these things, on a monthly basis or every 2 weeks, let's have a conversation. Listen, you paying me for a consultation is not an investment in me. It's not a payment to me. It's an investment in you. You can't pay me enough for the knowledge that I have. You can't pay me enough for the experience that I have. You listen, I got the sauce. I paid for it. I labored for it. I went through for it. I went through hell for it. I got the sauce. But if you want the drip, you got to invest in yourself to get the drip. An investment in you is not, y'all like, well, I don't want to pay her. I don't want to pay her. What you're rejecting is an investment in yourself. That's what you're really saying. I don't want to invest in me. I don't want to invest in me. You're not rejecting me because I'm taken care of with or without your money. And I, again, not being arrogant, I'm telling you this because it's what the Lord said. If you choose not to invest in you, then you will stay where you are. And if you let cost be the factor, that means that you don't value what you've gotten on this call tonight. You don't value who T is disrespectful to her. You don't value that. And if you don't choose Chandrita, find a professional who you can. Let me powder my nose, T, because I feel shiny on here. Is that okay?
And that's why I love her. Let me just tell you, Chandrita, I'm so grateful. The people are in the comments, and I've been trying to put them on the screen, but you've been talking so fast that you couldn't see all the comments.
I'm sorry.
The people, no, you don't have to be sorry. That's people came on here to hear you. They didn't come on here to see their comments, but I do want to put some of them up so you can see that people are affirming the things that you say. It's so important, y'all, that we do the investment in ourselves. One of the things I had to learn as I got older, I spent a lot of time investing in a lot of people other than me. I invested in family. I invested in my friends. I invested in other people's businesses. I invested in my sons. Mm-hmm. I invested outside of T. And at some point I had to decide that I matter too. That's right. Women were taught to be selfless. And so I see, hey, Chuck, I see you. That's my cousin Chucky on. I just want to remind all of us that we matter. And so if this is an area where you need some help, like the last time I encouraged you when we did mental wellness to reach out to some therapists, and I gave you the one that was on and told you I could recommend some other people. But if you want to change this part of your life and you want to be on the journey to financial wellness, I really want to encourage you. Like she said, if you're not going to use Chandrita, use somebody. But y'all don't use jackleg people.
That's right.
Don't use the bootleg people who I can do you for. Can I tell you? I tell people you shouldn't want me if I offer you a bootleg price, because what it tells you is that the product is no good.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, I said it. I'm like, if I come and speak for you for $100, you shouldn't want me to speak for you, because what I'm telling you is that my product is no good. So be prepared to pay for the service. But Chandrita, I'm so grateful to you for you coming on. There's some things coming in 2026, y'all, that as a community we need to be prepared for.
Oh, baby.
Financially prepared for. And so I hope that you all were picking up what Chandrita was putting down tonight. I'm grateful to you, my friend, my mentee. And she'll tell you I'm the person who told her fee was too low.
Yes. Way.
But I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and for really pouring into people. It's essential that our community really understand this piece of our lives, because we have been shut out of this game because we don't know the rules. And so I want to thank you for being the decoder of the rules. And not only did you decode it for you, you then made it available by decoding it for us. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Y'all, she is the credit connoisseur, Chandrita Boykins. And if you need her, I'll put her stuff in the chat. I'm the amazing T Street. You guys, thank you so much. And all these people are on here. The comments have been amazing tonight.
Yes.
I love this one. Investing in yourself will always pay off. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you all so much.
And so thank you. If it blessed you, y'all, by all means, leave some comments and share it out. You can share, particularly if you're on YouTube, I want you to share it because, quite frankly, hopefully you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, Amazing T Street. But if you have an opportunity, send Chandrita some comments of affirmation and thank her for her time and her services tonight. I love y'all. I'm the Amazing T Street, but y'all already know there's absolutely positively nothing amazing in me that's not in each and every one of you. So tonight I charge and I challenge you to get your bag right. Get on the journey to financial wellness. Have an amazing evening, everyone. Thank y'all.